Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all so much for taking the time to look at our video here and talking about takeoffs and estimating and dealing with the reporting that comes along with providing a full takeoff, doing estimating within the Sage 100 solution. Now, if you have not checked out the previous videos, I'm dealing with adding parts, an overview of Sage 100 estimating, building assemblies into an estimate, or building estimates without assemblies, or importing estimates. Please check out those videos due to the fact reason that we're going to be talking about the reporting piece after what we've done in estimating. So it's very crucial to kind of understand the reporting. We have no experience in estimating, we must go back and check out those previous videos, or this is going to sound like a foreign language. So within the estimating solution, we want to kind of look at exactly what our estimate does and what it affects as far as reporting. A lot of times with an estimating, especially if we have a very manual process, such as we're doing estimating in Excel or we're doing estimating on some type of worksheet, then that information is not going to be translated over into the accounting solution unless somebody sits down and 10 keys it. It's not going to be transferred over to the actual project management or a project management solution that we're using unless somebody takes that estimate or takeoff information and 10 key it into a project management solution. So the transfer of data becomes very critical when we talk about estimating. So we want to look at, before we transfer the data into accounting and into project management, we want to look at certain reports. So what I have here, let me go back out of here and pull up our actual takeoff. So I'm gonna open up takeoff from my quick screen. I'm gonna select my job. In this case, it's gonna be job 201. And the reason I'm selecting this job is because it not only has bid items where I'm tracking information such as general requirements and site work, it also is gonna track phases for me. So phase one, I don't have any site work, but if I were to go to say building one, look at general requirements, we don't have anything there. Let's see if we got any, see, but we got on building one, we're gonna do the concrete work. So with this particular estimate is a very detailed estimate where we can track the bid items as far as our general conditions, all the way down to the electrical, what I have set up in the sample company, as well as even tracking the phases if I'm doing like a mini job inside of a larger job. So I want to be able to report this information, such as, my recaps, if I'm tracking insurance, tax, bonding information, and as well as a bid summary. So one of the first places that we can look at, printing a report obviously is within the takeoff solution. So I can come up here and look at print. We got quite a few different types of reports that we can do, as well as if we need to modify them, changing the language, adding the language. And that way we can actually have our takeoff put into, some type of either PDF if we want to email it to, an architect, or if we want to email it to somebody within the company, somebody to sign off on it or review, senior project manager, whatever we want to do, we can take this information and say, put it into a takeoff worksheet. And if I have notes on my actual takeoff, I can look at this report. So for instance, I just want to look at a regular takeoff. If I want to go and say, hey, give me just phase one, I can look at just phase one of the building. And it pulls up, you know, all of my part numbers, my descriptions, unit of measure, extended quantity, cost, and the pricing. Also, what this report is showing me my full estimate, because I also have assemblies within this estimate. So anytime you see these L's, that means it's locked for an assembly, because I have assemblies built up into my estimate. And so here's the estimate 270. If I were to pull this up, there's 270 for my estimate, which is my assembly, which is now on my estimate with the detail. But then again, this report shows me some great information, but it's not showing me necessarily my bid items. So, okay, well, I can go down to a bid summary report. If I'm looking at my bid summary report, it just gives me cost, overhead, profit, and gross margin, and my extended price. And if I notice that this report says, oh, the bid amount is not locked in, meaning that someone can go in and override the bid. If I wanted to change that, simply just come over to bid summary and I can come in and lock the bid. And when I lock this bid, let's save it, jump back over to my report. here. Let's jump back over to Takeoff. Let's go back in. Since I've decided to lock that bid down, to kind of show you exactly what happens when I go in and do a bid, look at my bid summary. Notice that it says I have a locked bid amount, meaning that if I find this on a network or a PDF or somebody printed this off, I know that I have a locked bid amount in here. Now, depending on your company's workflow and depending on what your company says is a locked bid, the majority of the industry, meaning that I have actual signed contract out here that I cannot go back in and change the actual bid. So remove this report, as well as even if I'm looking at the bid items, but that doesn't necessarily tell me, that just gives me the bid summary. And I do apologize for jumping back out. I keep closing out of the wrong screen. But if I go back in here, only thing I saw was the bid summary. So it gives me the bid summary pages. It didn't tell me what my bid items, where amounts were. It didn't tell me where my phases were. But there is a report within the solution that will give us the phase, the bid item, and with the notes, giving me the most detail possible. So now when I look at my report, just my takeoff report, now I'm able to see exactly what bid item I'm on, general requirements. I'm able to see all of my parts underneath that general requirement. And the same thing with bid item 20 for site work. Same thing with bid item, 30 for concrete. Notice here, my phase is 0. But when I start getting into the depths of my phase, now I'm able to see bid item for concrete. Here's everything under phase 1 that I'm working with. Here is, bid item 4, and here's everything as far as and it gives me a total of my phase and my bid item. Let's scroll down here and see, can we see? So at the end of bid items, still on phase 1. So then now at the end of phase 1, I'm able to see exactly what my cost is, what I'm charging out to the client, and I can break it out by each bid item, especially if we're moving monies and we're trying to come really into that negotiating phase where we have not locked down a bid. We can kind of start seeing exactly where we can start moving money, especially from a bid item standpoint or even a phase standpoint, tracking that true what our cost is going to be. So not only can we see it, in our different, if we want to look at, say, a worksheet and a summary tab amount, which is going to be report 25 from bid items, I'm able to see as far as my job, my assemblies, all of the description of everything that is considered a part number, the unit of measure, and so on. So I'm able to track all this information, but notice I don't have necessarily totals at the end of this report. I mean, I got it at the end, but I don't have a true totals as I did with my other report where I'm looking at, the bid item total as well as the phases or the bid item or the phases that are made up of multiple bid items. So back down here, of course, I got my liability insurance. And these reports are customizable. These are just the standard canned reports that come within the system. There are also some other reports that are effective when we're especially talking about the budget. So without my estimate, if I'm using this particular solution and dealing with estimating, in the previous classes, I exported the budget out over to accounting, because a lot of times we don't understand is that estimating, everything flows all the way from estimating over to accounting, project management, to scheduling. It affects everything, starts essentially with my budget. And if we have estimating, this is very, very crucial that we set up the budget, because if we don't, it's going to affect other reporting in the system, such as if I'm looking at some particular takeoff reports and what budgeting really affects. So if I were to go in and say, look at my project management reports, and I wanted to look at the over and under billing summary, look at my WIP report, and I'm going to put in one job that does not have a budget, and I'm going to put in the job that actually has a budget. So if I do this, notice here at job 186, all I have is an estimated cost amount. I drill down, I have no budget. So therefore, in this job right here, it looks like we are 47,197% complete, which is, as we know, is very, very untrue. Then it starts messing up a lot of my numbers as I keep going across because I do not have the budget within the system. I don't have the estimate. Now, if I wanted to fix this, simply what I'll do is I'll go over to estimating, export the budget, and it will actually automatically update my WIP report. Same thing if I'm looking at job, the Trap Motel, I'm able to see there is my estimate, there's my change orders, and then here is my revised estimate amount. And I'm running it within a period of December of 2018. So when I don't have my budget in there, not only is it not going to, is it affecting my WIP report? If I was looking at my current cost summary. So I wanted to go out here and look at my committed costs, my purchase orders, and my subcontracts on that same project. Let's do one job 186 because we know it doesn't have a budget or an estimate, and let's do job 201. So now I'm looking at job 186. Only thing I have in here is my change order. Of course, changes. No estimate. But then when I get to my actual, so it's going to make my cost look kind of like, that's interesting. I can't understand why I don't have any, what is my estimate compared to my cost? But versus if I go look at my second job, now I have my estimate. I see my cost to date. I see my committed cost, and I can compare it against the remaining budget or also our estimate. Without that budget, how can I compare my remaining budget or my remaining cost? So not only does it affect, accounting, it affects project management on the committed cost reports. And even if I'm not running a committed cost report, there are other reports that I have within the system that is also affected by not having a budget. So let's jump over to project management real quick. And I want to go over to my current cost summary. And the report apologize about that. I actually want job summary. So under 614 in Sage 100 contractor, let's minimize you, don't need you. If I was looking at report 31, and I want to go back and look at this project. So this being the project managers, the estimators, and trying to figure out where we actually were breaking down our cost. So now I have no budget amounts. So I just have cost, and I cannot tell what the remaining budget is or what my remaining amounts are. So this job 186 doesn't have it. So when I look at my grand total, there's no budget. So it looks like my job is out of proportion, look like it's out of whack. In this case, it really is not. Somebody might have accidentally deleted the estimate, or in this case, I deleted it. I need to go back and re-import it in. So, but when I get to job 201, the Trap and Motel, now I'm able to see if I have actual budgets. In this case, I don't have a budget for general requirements, but I do have a budget for, my site work. I have some, and it's starting like, for instance, 6110 subfloor framing. I had original budget for labor. I see exactly costs that have hit the system, giving me my remaining amount. So now I can take this information if I'm running this, a weekly report on a schedule, scheduled reports, or I'm looking at this, on a monthly basis. I can now make the critical decisions from a project management component or project management standpoint or estimator based on the information of cost that's coming in the system and comparing it back to my original estimate. But without it coming from the takeoffs or setting it up in budgets, we won't have this information. So not only does, the takeoff reports affect, the takeoff affects our accounting solution, it also affects our project management solution. But there's also some other things I can do within the actual estimating solution. Like for instance, if I wanted to do a takeoff bid request, open up takeoff bid request, I'll go in here and do my job 201. I want to print the full description. And since we got phases on this, let's sort by the phase. In this case, this is going to give me my bid date. In this case, keep it 10/1, that's fine. And so while this is pulling up, not only am I able to, run a, takeoff bid request, I'm also able to take off extended pricing. So if I wanted to take this and send this out as far as a bidding process or kind of giving some information to our bid request, we can send this out the door. Of course, it's broken down by each phase. You might not want to get into that level of detail. So phase 3, As you can see, I've got 1,920 pages. So we might want to shorten that up and might not want to use that piece of it as far as a bidding. But then again, there are projects that are that complex that will require us to have that amount of detail. So as well as I can do a takeoff price, bid price, extended price. And as well as if I really want to get over here and look at my different takeoff reports, of course, I can look at my parts list, my takeoff list, takeoff parts, as far as information that I have within the system. So I can, like I said, run my takeoff bid extended price if I choose to. Same thing if I'm looking at a details recap. So if I wanted to, in this job, I'm running job 201. I want to see everything because not only cost codes, I also want to see the bid items as well as the phases. So I go here and put 201 and I can go up here and now I can see exactly where my takeoff details with the recap, giving me my cost total, what my overhead percent, and my subtotal based on my job, my bid item, and my phase. And it gives me my cost types, material, labor, equipment, subcontract, and other if I'm tracking that information. And it breaks it down for me over these 12 pages and giving me my totals. And then at the very last page, I can see all of my totals for phase 3. So as we see here, as we're going through and kind of get a quick recap here, it's very important, especially when we talk about reporting and coming out of takeoffs. We got many reports that we can run as far as reporting. There is also known as when you start getting that information from the takeoff, putting it into the system, it also affects scheduling. And then we start talking about our scheduling classes and how that schedule give us critical path reports and then schedule cash flow. All of this information was coming directly out of estimating because that's where the project really starts when we build the estimate. And then after that, we just export it to the project management component of Sage 100 Contractor, as well as the accounting component of Sage 100 Contractor. So we just wanted to have a quick little video tutorial looking at our takeoff reports and understanding what our takeoff reports are reporting, how we can also even modify them if we need to. If you have any questions, hey guys, would love to talk to you, love to hear from you. Please check us out over at bangerdinc.com or you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. Thank you, and you take care.